Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Day by Day. Thanks for being here. Today is the 1st of June. I have returned from my 10-day hiatus. Hi, how you doing? It was an event. I guess you know that 6-2 is Chromium's Mr. Qui-Gon accelerated. It was a fun week. It was a challenging week. I haven't seen anything about Temple Guard yet. Didn't do any video watching or anything while I was away. The experience was interesting. I'm not going to advocate for any of you who have children. I mean, if they're introverted, you should be fine. If they like to talk a lot, maybe not the best idea. 15-hour trip that my kids made even longer by just talking incessantly. And it was not a great time. Going down and coming back. It took a few days going down to decompress from them just talking the whole way. And then we just got back like 3 hours ago, and they talked the entire way back. And it was challenging. It was not fun, especially when you're driving through big cities or through mountains and you're trying to concentrate on traffic and your children will not stop talking. That's pretty challenging. It's not challenging, it's very challenging. And the baby, foster baby, never been on that type of excursion before. Came through it like a champ. The kids, our children, just talk and talk and talk some more. And it was not fun. It was like, I don't even know what to compare it to. Because I don't think that you can accurately compare it to anything. But look, we came back and bam, we're done with Qui-Gon. I mean, we're done with Plo. That's Plo's Relic 1. Is he off the list now? I'm trying to remember who's on the list and who's off the list. I think Plo can disappear from this list. Yeah, let's take him off. I don't think we need him. He's modded. Relic 1, pilot. Yeah, fine. He's gone. Okay. I didn't know that was going to happen, but I'm happy it did. Happy it did. Next question is, do we move on to R2? Or do we keep going with another Vanguard? R2. General Kenobi, Bush, Kelleran, Ayla. I guess let's go with Barris. Let's get Barris out of the way. Let's work on Barris. Get her done. Get her out of the way now. But yeah, the vacation was, I mean, it could have been so much better. It could have been so much. It could have been so much everything. And it, to have your kids ruin it just by talking and asking over and over, what state are we in? When are we going to be to the hotel? I'm hungry. I need to potty. Because I don't think that I drive these long stretches. I was hoping to get about 3.5 hours between having to stop. And it was maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe. And to say it was a challenge is maybe the most understated thing I've ever said, because it wasn't just a challenge. It was a challenge. It was like next level challenge. And I mean, when you're there, when you're going through it, and you're just trying to get, because they're 5 and 6, and trying to get them to understand how important it is that they stop talking and that they just find something to do. I mean, these children are not me. Because first of all, I'm very introverted. And so I don't talk a lot in general, like on a regular day. Because the Teddy Roosevelt maxim, one of his old things used to be, walk softly and carry a big stick. Was one of his things that he said. And another thing that I was trying to keep in mind is it's better to have people think you're an idiot than open your mouth and prove it. And I know I said a lot of dumb things, but everybody does. And I'm much more comfortable just not talking. Now, that's twofold, because I tend to think about things a lot. And also because I'm not the type of person that can go up to somebody and be like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And just naturally strike up a conversation. I'm like that. I've never understood that. I've never understood how that works. And that might seem odd to you, but I promise you that's how I am. I'm not the person that can go up and be like, that's just not me. And sometimes I wish it was, but it's just not. I'm not that person. But my kids will be like, hello, how are you? What's your name? What are you doing? And of course, it's cute for them because they're 5 and 6. But it's very different when you're not 5 and 6 to go, to be like, I farted, or I burped, or what's your name, or what time are we going to be at the hotel, or what state are we in, or um, that's a cute doggy, or all of this stuff just that randomly pops into the mind of a 5 and 6 year old. On top of the fact that they're talking about poop and pee and butts and chicken wings and I don't even know. It's weird. It's crazy. And you can imagine that. And now they did sleep for probably, they may have slept for maybe 4 hours of these 15 hours that were on the trip. But it's like today we were in the mountains and traffic had stopped because we were going towards this toll thing. And we were in the fast lane. And we were like, and I was like, trying to figure out why the other lane was moving faster. And finally it dawned on me that I had to move over to the slow lane, because at a certain point the slow lane fanned out and they had more access to more lanes. But I mean, we probably spent 30 minutes or in line just waiting for the traffic to figure this out. And I'm like, why is it? And then we finally took the chance. We're finally moved through the lane. And that's probably another 30 minutes that we could have been driving down the road. That because I didn't realize that fast enough. My kids were sleeping this whole time. And we could have been, however much further before they woke up. And it would have been a little bit better. But, I'm the type of guy who, I would fall asleep growing up, going to wherever to get groceries that was 20 or 30 miles away. I would fall asleep to and from there. And I still will. If I'm not driving, I will fall asleep in a car. But my kids, they're like, I mean, I can sleep for hours in a car. I mean, I used to sleep on buses. I slept on planes. Back when I was in the service, I slept on planes everywhere in the tightest little corner. If I could just find a place to be able to go and, lean up against something, I would. But it's like, my kids, they go to sleep. It'll be nice for a little bit. And then they'll wake up and they're back talking like, I don't know. And it's not a fun thing to have to deal with, because it's a struggle to have to deal with that. And for me, it's not something that I enjoy. It's like like going through those mountains, because you have people and they're always trying to pass. And so I have a little bit of nature where I sort of want to be competitive with them, and I'm trying to keep in front of them. And instead I should just be going, 75 or 60 and just easing through them, but I'm rushing through them, and because it's like you're in the mountains. You don't want to be in the mountains, and so you sort of want to get through them as fast as you can and be back on normal driving conditions. And so all of this adds up, and it becomes probably more of a nuisance than it is. But it's just bad on my part. I mean, but by and large, aside from the mountain, aside from the kids talking, it's hard to quantitate that because it's hard to quantitate how the trip was. I mean, it didn't rain on our trip, so there's that. I mean, it rained overnight, but didn't affect us driving. We didn't have to drive in the rain, so the roads were clear. When we were down there, I was a little bit annoyed because we stayed north of where my family is, and so and for whatever reason, we're always the ones that have to go see them, even though it's our vacation. And so we drove down. I saw my mom and my stepdad 2 days in a row. So we had to drive an hour each way to go see my mom and my stepdad. And they had kids got to meet other kids, and they get to have dinner. Dessert. And then the next day we came back, we had lunch with them, and then more dessert, and then kids got to go swimming, which was good. Got to spend time with their grandma, which I guess I was happy to make happen. Just knowing having to drive an hour both ways, especially when you're on vacation. But it'll be fine. Hopefully it's a memory my kids have, my kids are able to retain, but there's no way to know that for sure. There's no way to know that the kids will remember this, and they probably won't. But if they don't, you can be like, this is what I did for you. When they're being ingrates at some point. But stuff is it's hassle. It's a challenge. And it's annoying to have to deal with this stuff, to have to explain it. It's a real challenge. But I mean, all in all, it was a good enough experience. It could have been better, of course. Could have been worse. And it was, aside from the place where we actually stayed, it was okay. But I think we'll talk about some other stuff on this trip tomorrow. Anyway, we're back. Thanks for being here. Appreciate all of you. We'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you hold the line. And remember that we have friends everywhere. Till then, have a good one. Bye.